I'm going to end it. I'm literally going to end it.
All
right.
All right.
Every
Fine.
No. All righty. What is up, college baseball fans? Welcome to the regional preview episode of the 11.7 podcast. We had Selection Monday about 3 hours ago. The committee picked their field of 64. As you can see right here, if you're watching the YouTube, thanks to our great friend, Auburn University Plainsman Parking Lot, we are using his graphic that he makes every single year. It's the biggest and the best graphic of all time. It is all 64 teams, their uniforms matched up in the regionals. So we wanted to share him some love because he's been doing it for probably 6 or 7 years now. So go follow him on Twitter at AUPPL. He's a great follow too. And he's fun. If you're going to that Auburn regional, he'll show you a good time. Like go up to the parking lot, enjoy a couple cold beverages with him, and he's a super guy. Structure of the show here. It's hard for me to explain this without throwing Noah completely under the bus, but we just attempted to record
if you saw
this
that
episode.
cold open, it was
you saw that cold open. We had to stop the show. If anybody's seen the movie White Chicks, Noah had a BF. He had a BF, and it was an absolute I begged for the whole episode to stay up. Ultimately, we cut it short, but it was really funny. It was just 11.7, like to a T, what we do best. So we're restarting the show, and we're going to be more structured this time because we do want to keep this under an hour, and we were on pace for about a 3-hour episode. We're going to do a quick regional accolade visual episode here, which will include 10 accolades. So we're each going to pick who we think is the hardest regional, easiest regional, a 1 seed that we think will not advance, best uniforms. What 4 seed do we think can advance out of a regional? What 3 seed? What 2 seed advance out of a regional? What's going to be the most watched regional nationwide? Like which one's going to be the heaviest follow? Most offensive regional and the best pitching regional. Those will be the 10 accolades that we're each going to make picks, and we'll go down the list from there. On top of that, we need to first actually shout out our sponsor, Home Field Apparel. 15% off using promo code CWS25. Listen, they are an unbelievable partner of ours. They're sending the 2 grand prize winners to Omaha to stay in a nice hotel and go enjoy the games first weekend of the College World Series. And like, since they're so good to us and we do have such a loyal following, like go support them. You get 15% off using our promo code CWS25. And they have not only shirts, like t-shirts, but they have jerseys, pullovers, hats, bomber jackets, a ton of just unique retro designs. And it's the highest quality material in the world. So go support Home Field Apparel. They're great to us. All right, let's talk about what just happened amongst the boys here first. we had a show. It was very unorganized. There was some arguing, and it was really just the cherry on top of all the bickering and arguing we've done the last few days off air, like off of the podcast, when we're building a field of 64s Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. We could never agree. Myself, Noah, and Dimitri could just not agree on anything. So we started just putting out 3 different projected regional fields. So the tension has been building up, and like we're going towards divorce right now. But this is where like our love comes back together, because today is such an important day to college baseball that this is going to be our child that brings us back together, and we're going to stay together. But man, if you saw that cold opening, just know it was about 15 minutes straight of that, and it was awesome.
It was like 10, but it was bad.
But Jack was just stirring the pot. He tried to mend everything. We thought we had it right. It just didn't work out. So the plan of the show, let's get after it. And then for like these 10 accolades, and then Wednesday, maybe Tuesday night, but probably Wednesday is when we are going to look at like Vegas odds. We're going to pick each one of us will pick the regional winners, super regional, Omaha. We'll do all of that. We'll fill out our brackets, and it'll be freaking awesome. We just need a couple couple days or at least 24 hours to do research and really just make these picks mean something rather than just off the top of the dome, taking Fresno State or whatever.
Now, Ben, before you continue, I'm going to hit you with a Lee Corso not so fast. Before we do move on, we're going to have very calculated and meticulous, drawn out thinking and strategies for who we think is going to win regionals, supers, and Omaha. But in that last pre-recorded episode, as you mentioned, I was kind of the anchor baby, the drunk guy that hypothetically fell asleep while you guys were doing bracketology on Saturday night, just kind of there for the presence. In that last pre-recorded episode, I'd be remiss to mention that we did allow a Panda Express fortune cookie to decide who we think is going to win the national championship. And I've thought about it since that last moment where we decided we were going to X-nay the last pod. I think we revive it and we each all go get a fortune cookie from the local Chinese restaurant in town, and we come prepared because you know us. There's no thought process for a lot of these investments. I want to come and leave it all to fate because that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Wait, time out.
Go ahead.
Can we please put that fortune cookie segment
in?
Episode?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was so good. We've lost so many good moments in that episode.
Boys, I have a surprise for us. I haven't eaten today, and I Uber Eats Panda Express. I was feeling really hungry and craving some Asian food there, and I saved this. This is the college baseball fortune cookie of the ages. I haven't opened it yet, as you can see.
Okay.
And I'm going to open this live right now and read the fortune. And we're either going to spin it to be like, this is a sign that the Oregon Ducks are going to win the College World Series, or we're going to spin it and be like, like TCU is going to lose the regional because of this. This will give us the answers. But I do want to recognize that this is the fortune cookie of
I can't believe
baseball.
you picked TCU as the team that, the example, they're going to lose the regional.
That was the first team I looked at. It's nothing against TCU. Yeah, sorry. So here we go. Open. You are destined for continued good, health, and happiness.
So continued good to me means that they won a conference tournament.
I love where your head's at.
Arizona. North
I love where your head's at.
Arizona was my preseason national championship pick. I don't know how Dimitri went to them first. I was kind of thinking that this is what everybody was hoping that we'd do, and that's a mid-major that won their conference tournament.
And they have to be healthy, and they have to be happy.
You know who's been continuously good for 2 months? The Northeastern Huskies.
And they're getting healthy, and they are healthy. And I bet they're happy too.
The Stetson Hatters are happy.
Well,
That's
there was some kind of
you're going to make us go down a rabbit hole here. All right? Let's avoid that.
Some kind of fortune that got him in. Some Freaky Friday
You are
shit.
destined for continued good, health, and happy. I believe that's probably speaking to Northeastern.
It has to be
Continued good.
speaking Northeastern.
This is maybe the best
Wait.
segment idea that we did, Ben.
I know. Well, time out. I'm starting to feel Coastal Carolina vibes.
Can we break this down?
Second longest winning streak. They're healthy. They're happy. Although they might not be happy with that regional draw. A little tough there.
I think it's word association, boys. Like let's break this thing all the way down, right? Continued success to me. First thing I thought of was, all right, back to back. Do you go Tennessee? Well, no. To me, I think we think harder. We're better than that. In the movie Freaky Friday, starting star sensation Lindsay Lohan, they eat a fortune cookie and she switches bodies with Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis also in Halloween, stud, big scream. Halloween, what do you think of? I think of those Halloween jerseys that Tennessee wears. But to me, that's too easy. So I think we trail it back.
God, you're such a...
We go back to Lindsay Lohan. And I think with Lindsay Lohan, who is the hottest team?
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
In the world of
Lindsay, the name Lindsay, the stadium that they're playing in, Lindsay Nelson, too. I don't know how we went down this road, but
Lindsay Lohan, she was a star back in 2006, right?
Yes,
big
I'm aware.
Star. That was when she was on top of the world. Who was the college baseball blue blood in 2006?
Oregon State Beavers.
That would be where my head goes. Continued success. They're a mid-major that fits our 8-year model. I don't know. Something to think about.
Really
Don't
cool.
tell Oregon State fans that they're a mid-major.
They are. They're an independent.
Oklahoma State with a blue blood in 2006 as well.
That's a good one. Black and orange, too.
How was Lindsay Lohan doing in 2008, though? Because that's when the Fresno State Bulldogs were on top of the world.
Oh, Murph Gray. I don't hate that either.
All right, well, let's get into the show.
I think continued success, though. Like, I think I like my definition, and I like where Ben was going too. Coastal or Northeastern, I think, are the two teams that we should think about.
Yep.
They win the regular season and the conference tournament, and they're both hot, red hot right now.
What state was Panda Express started in?
Oh, I don't know.
Can someone look that up? If it's either the Carolinas or Massachusetts, I think that's what we go with. And we take all of our investments and we place
Panda
it on
Express was founded in Glendale, California in 1983.
Okay.
Who won the national championship in 1983?
This is the podcasting that people care about, by the way. I want to make something very abundantly clear.
Yes, it is.
In 1983, the Texas Longhorn won the College World Series.
I love it.
The owners of Panda Express is the Churn family, Andrew and Peggy Churn. I'm gonna find out where they went to school.
Okay.
You know who else is? You know who else is playing very close to Glendale, California, the home of the Rose Bowl? The USC Trojan.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know where Mr. Chang went to school?
Where?
Please.
Missouri.
Ah. All right, sweet. Now we reel it back. Ben, it's your fortune. What did it tell you?
Well, my brain is telling me.
Oh, his wife went to Oregon State.
We might be onto something.
Guys, I do think that there is something here. I really do. I kind of love that fortune cookie, damn it.
So when I think of good health and happiness, I think about retirement.
Yeah.
Good health and happiness. Are the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, are they going to send Danny Hall off into retirement with the national championship?
I don't hate it.
Or does it mean Coastal because continued success after retirement?
It could be Coastal. I love it. Well, I'm going to save this fortune cookie. We'll bring it back up at the College World Series.
Yeah.
We just put it in. All right.
Dang.
So our thoughts on the fortune cookie? Are we adding any more? Or are we beginning the regionals?
No, I think we put it all there. But for Wednesday's episode, we're all four of us. Dimitri, good luck trying to find a Chinese restaurant in Italy. But we're going to all try to do. We're all going to get a fortune cookie that we will open live on air.
You act like there's not Chinese restaurants in America.
Yeah, Ben, that was such an ignorant comment. That was so ignorant.
Was it bad? Are there Chinese restaurants in Italy?
Of course there are.
All right. Shame on me. I don't know anything. All right, let's
stop the show. Delete that. Stop the show.
Yeah, that's what I should say. No. Stop. I'm going to end it.
That is going to be a meme for the rest of the year.
I love Jack's idea of just like making Noah when he's like, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it. Yeah, like
every time I lose an investment moving forward, that's what's going to ring true. I'm going to fire that out every time.
Yeah, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it.
I'm not going to be able to live that down. That was so funny. You guys it was very funny, and that's why they wanted to keep it. But I was like, no way.
Dude, I was actually mad.
Yeah. Well, no, I get it. Noah's been busting his tail, so I get wanting it to be cleaner and better, and I get it. So, but it was fun. But obviously we just plugged in the fortune cookie segment, some Lindsay Lohan action, some word association. That's what it comes down to this time of year. Throw talent out the window. It's really just gut feel.
I think we have the same light bulb moment, Dimitri. I think we make Noah pick a team that will not win the College World Series.
Yeah.
And if they win it, that video comes out because it's gold.
Yes,
I like that.
Ben, you're finally getting your pulse detection thing working again.
All right,
That's
well, let's
fair.
do it.
And
Let's put
at
him on
the
the spot.
at the time, it was the number 1 team in the country, Tennessee. So I'll give you guys Vanderbilt, and I will say that Vanderbilt will not win the College World Series.
All right. So
Really?
if
They're the
Vanderbilt
number
wins
1
the
seed.
College World Series, the video will come out.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I
no.
will say, like, I'm able to make this deal because my video is not me pissing my pants.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
You
I'm
still-
totally. I'm totally fine.
You cannot play that card. You cannot play that card of I'm stopping the video. I'm stopping the video, and then play the at least not myself pissing myself. I will make sure this video comes out now.
All right, hold on. I will make some. Let's go back and double down, Dimitri. First off, you still got some Mountain Dew to drink. Second off, I cannot count on 2 hands how many people in the great state of Alabama and the Hoover Metropolitan Complex approached me and said, "Jack, love the pencil. When can we see Dimitri's pissy pants?" I swear on my life, I'm talking more than 10 people coming to ask me about your trousers. That's awesome. You guys listening at home are awesome. It's why we do this. I appreciate every single one of you. Mr. Chad, too. He came up with his little 7-year-old son who listens every day.
That
on
was
the way
hilarious.
on the way to school, guys. I might have to release that video if Chad's okay with it. But Bowen, I believe he was 8, saying Dimitri doesn't know ball. Like, you guys are the best. And we might have to release the pissy pants video just for the people. Go Vols.
I'm gonna end it.
I'm gonna end it.
I'm gonna end it. Don't make me click OK to end the stream.
Yeah. All right. So where do you guys want to start? Like, what accolade do you want to start with? Like, we can do the hardest regional or easiest regional first, or we can save it for last. We could do.
Let's just keep
most
it easy
often.
because you sent that text in order. You want to keep it in order?
down?
That?
All right. Let's start with the hardest regional, and I will go first. This one was between 2, and I'm sure one of you guys will pick the other regional that I'm balancing it with, and if not, I'll say it afterwards. But to me, the hardest regional is going to be the Oxford regional. The Oxford regional, I think Murray State is a 4 seed, is a very tough draw. A team that only lost like 14 games this year. They were 39-14. They win the OVC tournament and the regular season. And you also get Conference USA with Western Kentucky, who is a 45-win team with probably like mid-major, like one of the best mid-major players with Ryan Weidman. And then you get Georgia Tech, like a pissed off Georgia Tech team that thought they should have hosted. You saw the reaction today on the selection show. They were not clapping. They were not happy. So that is my hardest regional, is that Oxford regional.
I can think I'm going second. We're going right down the ladder. I'll go Tallahassee. I think maybe this is the one that you were mentioning. You know, obviously to get Mississippi State as the 3 seed. And if you listen to our live show, if you haven't, you should. Man, we had such a fun time as the bracket was released. And we were able to bring on Bethune-Cookman head coach, Coach Johnny, who is a legend of the game. And they as a 4 seed, really frisky. But Northeastern as a 2 is one of the – I think it's going to be one of the sexiest picks in America. Like, that's going to be everyone's favorite, like, underdog story. Guys, they do not view themselves as underdogs. And then obviously Jamie Arnold and Florida State, what Coach Lincoln and those guys have been able to build, nothing short of remarkable and how quickly they've been able to do it. So to me, Tallahassee is going to be the Tallahassee regional of sorts this year.
I thought I'm impressed you guys haven't picked the one I picked. I thought it was pretty obvious. My hardest regional is Eugene with the Ducks, red hot Arizona, and a very pesky and strong Cal Poly Mustangs team, and a Utah Valley team that is a strong 4 seed. I think their schedule and their geographical location makes it people to look at their RPI and look at things and think this team is not very good. It's not a bad Utah Valley team. I think they have very easy, not easy, but a capable shot of beating Oregon on Friday night. Will it be done? Probably not, but it's possible. Arizona, a couple weekends here and there, they could have been in the hosting conversation. I think they finished like 28, 29 RPI. That's 1 or 2 good weekends, and you're in the top 20. And then Cal Poly, I mean, they're hot. They played really well against a really good Irvine team. had one bad weekend, and they could have won the Big West title. They lost by one game, I think. So that's my toughest regional.
My strongest regional, toughest regional is that Oxford regional that Ben also mentioned. And this is also my favorite regional because for a while, like the last 3 or so weeks, it was on this show, a couple other shows, some radio hits. I thought that both Ole Miss and Georgia Tech were going to be really good, frisky 2 seeds, like both balanced with experienced rotations and good offenses. I thought they would be dangerous 2s. And now, Ole Miss played themselves into a host. Georgia Tech wins the regular season in the ACC. That's a very strong 2, in my opinion. Western Kentucky's got a top 10 pitching staff in the country, and Murray State's identity is also that strong pitching staff. So I went with Oxford Regional's strong 2.
Cool. The other one I was like kind of considering was Coastal Carolina.
Definitely.
I thought it was like an out of the box pick, but Fairfield honestly probably should have been that last 3 seed RPI wise. Like they were in the low 70s. Like that's a tough draw for a 4 seed. And then East Carolina, like I know they had a bad year, but they are reeling right now, playing their best baseball. And then of course the Florida Gators and Sully, like they're gonna make it to Omaha every year, it feels like. So
to your point, before we continue, if we had a category of crappiest draw, it'd be Coastal Carolina. Like we thought they were a borderline national seed, thought they deserved the national seats. Like that is a really crappy draw. I just thought others were maybe a little bit deeper.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's go to easiest regional. Do you want me to start, or are we doing snake draft?
Yep. Same thing.
All right. I think the easiest regional is, man, I don't want to go chalk here. I wrote it down though.
Like we all might have it.
Yeah, LSU is the easiest regional. Now, it's nothing against Dallas Baptist, it's nothing against Rhode Island or Little Rock, but like Little Rock might compete with LSU for the first like 5-6 innings. Jackson Wells is the real deal as a Friday guy, but up until their OVC tournament push where they swept through the tournament, like they've lost 15 of their last 16 games. They're below 500 on the year. They were the 8th seed in the OVC. So like, I'm sorry, like I that, and then Rhode Island, Dallas Baptist, like no other Power 4 schools other than LSU. That's my pick.
I do think it's going to be the chalk pick. That's going to be on everyone's board in the country. I got to imagine when DraftKings comes out with that line, they're going to be like minus 500 to 600 to win that regional, right? Like, truthfully, every game that they play in is going to be minus 200 to minus 300, depending on who's on the mound. So, but I have another one. It has nothing to do with the teams, and I think it'll just be funny for the bit and for the graphic. I think that Eugene regional, I think Oregon cakewalks through it. I really do. Like, again, I think Arizona is insanely talented. They looked awesome in the Big 12 tournament, and I think Cal Poly. But if you look at the way that Oregon plays, especially at home, I think it's super advantageous comparative to their matchups. And I think that they sweep right through. Now, they could go 2 in a queue, quite literally, because they're playing really good ball clubs. But I think because of the ballpark they play in, with how they're structured offensively against their teams they're playing, I like Oregon pretty easily this weekend.
Are you doing this just to like try to make me look stupid and piss me off or something?
A small part of it. A small part of it.
Doing this, and I cannot wait for the Twitter replies. How would one person have the hardest, one person has the easiest?
I know. I'm not gonna lie. That was part of it. That was part of it. And I just
you're so annoying. You're so annoying.
One of us is going to look like a genius, and one of us is going to look like a jackass. That was the goal.
Okay. Before
a 1 seed can win it, and it's still a tough regional. I want that definition out there. Okay,
I agree.
I mean, now I feel like I'm questioning my pick. Do we all agree that Eugene is difficult?
Yes. I mean, Arizona wins the Big 12 tournament. Cal Poly was a high RPI 3 seed, and Utah Valley's got a strong offense.
Yeah, Utah Valley plays in the WAC, and the WAC is not some schlub of a league. Like they play against good teams, so the RPI doesn't reflect like who they really are.
Yeah, last year's Grand Canyon actually they competed for a regional final last year.
Yeah. So Jack, I'm going to give you one more chance to change your easiest regional pick.
Double down, 10 toes down.
All right. Easiest regional for me, Baton Rouge. Not even close. I mean, Dallas Baptist is a very strong 2 seed, but I mean, when you've got Rhode Island and Little Rock as your 3 and 4 seeds, it automatically nullifies who your 2 seed is there. So LSU basically just has to worry about beating Dallas Baptist, and most of these other regional, you got 2 teams you have to worry about, sometimes 3. So that's Dallas, Baton Rouge by far.
Yeah, my weakest regional was also the Baton Rouge regional. I love how Ben said that, it's not because of the teams. For me, it is because of the teams. Yeah, Little Rock, who was an 8 seed in the Ohio Valley, and then Rhode Island was one of the lower seeded 3 out there, and then Dallas Baptist is a mid-major. You look at this regional on paper, and you have 3 mid-majors and LSU. I mean, come on. Can the committee not balance that a little bit? That's just
to the committee's credit, Rhode Island had to go somewhere. They were going to be a 3 seed in somebody's regional. So, I mean, they could have paired it up with a high end 2 seed or something, but
you guys are making me absolutely love Rhode Island in this regional.
I know. Well, that was also the other reason. Like, each of you, obviously, the answer is Baton Rouge. Like, obviously. Name another regional that is the easiest, though. Like,
I mean, could you send Rhode Island to Athens and Oklahoma State to Baton Rouge? Yes. Why they didn't do it, I don't know.
You could send Rhode Island to Conway and send East Carolina to Baton Rouge, and it would still automatically be tougher. But I get your point about the mid-major. You could send Rhode Island to Corvallis and send USC to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I think I love Rhode Island now. I think they're going to win that regional. They're going to be hearing it from everybody, how they have no shot. It's only LSU versus DBU. Give me Rhode Island.
Well, they won't be able to call out our graphic because I didn't put it up there. So you guys are welcome.
That's true. All right. 1 seed to not advance. I think this ties into one of your toughest regionals. I don't think Florida State's going to advance out of their regional. I see a Mississippi State team with an interim head coach, and the boys are playing good baseball. Like Northeastern, hottest team in the country, 26 straight wins. And then, dude, sneaky. If Florida State chooses not to throw Jamie Arnold Friday against Bethune's ace, really good. And they also have the reliever of the year in the SWAC, who's nasty. And that offense can play. They won't be scared. Upset alert slightly on the Seminoles if they don't throw Jamie Arnold on Friday. Like, slight upset alert. So I'm taking FSU.
Love it. I've got North Carolina. I think that was a close second to me. I think Nebraska's got all the mojo and swagger in the world. Seeing OU in person, like Kyson Witherspoon is filthy. So I just think that there's so much more, though, behind him from a pitching staff standpoint. Holy Cross with maybe one of the more electric regional announcement videos that we saw on ESPN2 today. North Carolina is insanely talented. They've been absolutely fuego the last month of the year. Sometimes you see those teams like have a little bit of a hiccup early, and you're like, what the hell just happened? I don't wish that upon the Tar Heels. But I do think that's a really difficult regional, and I could see somebody else coming out of it.
To your credit, when there's one team almost every year that has everything going for them, all the momentum, and they just hit a roadblock in regionals. And it is the most heartbreaking, how the fuck did this happen moment.
Yep.
So, yeah, I like that. But
last year, I think it was Duke. Like, Duke wins the ACC tournament. They were everybody's picking the 2 seed regional at Oklahoma, right? That was probably the hot.
UConn beat them opening Friday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, my 1 seed to not advance is nobody other. The Southern Miss Golden Eagles will not advance. They are not advancing out of that regional. Alabama, I think they were like 14, 13, 15 RPI. They were in hosting category. One more SEC win, they're hosting. Literally, if they have 17 SEC wins, they're hosting.
I will say this too, Dimitri. That could be the game of the weekend if they both take care of business. And Saturday night, he's thrown on Saturdays all year. If it's Riley Quick in Hattiesburg, like that's going to be must-watch television.
Yeah, we'll see what Southern Miss does with JV Middleton. Are they going to save him, or are they going to throw him against Columbia? if Southern Miss remembers when Army comes to town, when Kennesaw State comes to town, or even in Auburn with Stanford, you cannot take these games lightly. These teams will punch you in the mouth really quickly. So it will be interesting to see if Southern Miss saves J.B. Middleton for the Saturday night 1-0 game. But don't sleep on Miami. I think they've been pretty bad all year, and I think they're a generational gift to whatever regional they were going to go to. But we saw Miami in those 15 games. They looked really good. Ben pulse meter wasn't working, but their pulse was pretty high for that little 15-game stretch. Miami can win a game. They can ruin this bracket. Play 3 of their best games of the year, they can ruin this bracket very easily. But I think Southern Miss struggled to get out of this regional.
My 1 seed that will not advance is Auburn. That Auburn regional has the 2 and 3 seeds that I like a lot. I think NC State's got a really good balance of a very solid offense and also a very solid pitching staff. They really control the strike zone very well. They don't walk a lot of guys. They don't strike out a bunch offensively. Auburn Tigers have the best offense in this regional without a doubt. Myself, I've questioned their pitching depth throughout the season. And I look at Stetson, who was my preseason mid-major team to get to Omaha, and their Saturday guy all year was Jonathan Gonzalez, who was the ASUN pitcher of the conference pitcher of the year. They flipped him to the first game, so that means of the conference tournament. So that means possibly you could see their Friday guy, who they loved the most in the preseason, in James Hayes, who's a Georgia transfer, and he's got all the talent in the world, and he can go out there and shove against an SEC team. I think Stetson very well could win this regional, but I like NC State enough to just say that they were my 1 seed, not advance Auburn.
Can I add one more thing about Stetson? I'm just going to go ahead and say they're not my 3 seed pick or whatever, but Stetson's got one of the best relievers in the ASUN who got snubbed from the all-conference list. Their closer throws 95, 97 through absolute gas. This Stetson team, we talked about it in the mid-major power ranking, preseason ranking. They had, 13 guys in the Cape last summer. This is 14 guys in Cape. This is a very, very talented roster from Stetson.
And Dimitri, you know who was the only team that had more Cape players than Stetson? The number 1 overall team in the country, Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Hey, Ben, can you believe that Stetson's actually the only team to get an AQ without winning a conference championship too?
I knew this is where he was going.
That's
I
crazy.
don't care how they got in.
I was just curious.
This is a dangerous team.
Yeah,
Grand Canyon last year competed in a regional final, and they didn't win their conference tournament either.
Dude, you guys have cool points.
Stetson is the only automatic qualifier who has lost their last game.
They didn't lose, though.
Officially, they
win?
They did not record the final out against them in the 9th or later inning, but they lost.
So it's like a tie. It's like kissing your sister. I'm cool with that. You guys cool with that?
Just for the listeners to know, I'm going to explain this very quickly.
Sorry.
Stetson and Florida Gulf Coast agreed to let Florida Gulf Coast win that game because it was more than 5 innings. They recorded it as an official game to make it officially Stetson had 1 loss. And then, so they declared them co-champion, but Stetson was the higher seed to advance to regional. But it was 6-5, 5-4, whatever it was, in the 7th inning. So it was a 1-run game. Stetson had just scored in that inning. They had bases loaded, 1 out, nobody out, and they scored. So you can say all you want that Florida Gulf Coast got hosed, whatever. But this is a very good Stetson team that deserves a spot in the postseason.
Yes. I apologize. I was just.
And you're Austin P. Governor. I hope they'll enjoy. Get some popcorn. Get some snacks. We're gonna watch the Stetson Hatters play.
They're at home watching baseball. Congratulations to Stetson. I was just ruffling the feathers. We'll get this thing back on track. Congratulations, Jesse Simmons does a great job covering that team as well.
Yes,
does great work. Really love following him. If you're listening along, give him a follow. Ben, back to you.
I was DMing him all weekend. I totally agree.
Oh, you too? I couldn't imagine Dimitri and Noah on the Stetson train. It's wild. Ben, back to you. Let's go.
All right. Best uniform regional. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here. So, wait, what?
Are we going 2 seed advance or best uniform?
Oh, did I type 2 seed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 seed to win, 3 seed to win.
Okay. Let's go 2 seed to win. That's fine. So my 2 seed that I feel most confident on advancing is none other than the Elliott Avant NC State Wolfpack. It's May. They always play well in May. They play their best baseball. I think Auburn and Stetson are both going to be big tasks for them, but it's not like this unbeatable whatever path for the 2 seed. Yeah, give me NC State.
I'm going to Los Angeles. This is no slight on UCLA. They're a big, strong physical team, but I've been on the UC Irvine hype train all season long, and I sure as hell am not going to start now. Give me Peter the Eater. Give me Chase Call in the battle against his brother in UCLA. They're 2 very contrasting styles of ball. UC Irvine is a big physical team. UCLA loves to run the baseball at the yard, but I love Irvine's pitching. I love Ojeda out of the pen. I love Ojeda in that staff, and I think Irvine gets it done.
Son of a bitch. My favorite 2 seed comes from nowhere else, Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
I've been on the UC Irvine train much longer than Jack has. I've been on the UC Irvine train since before the season started. Give me the Anteater. They struggled for 1 day. 2 games against Cal Poly, who I think is really good. But this Irvine team, I think it's on paper just as good as UCLA. And you'll see it in this regional. I think if UC Irvine can get through Arizona State 1-0, they will have a chance to take this regional. I love this team to advance.
My 2 seed lock to win a regional is West Virginia. Out of that Clemson regional, I look at the Clemson regional, and I think USC Upstate's a strong 4, and then the 1 and 3 seeds have very similar identities, in my opinion. Clemson's got a good ace, but I assume that they're going to throw him in game 1 against Upstate. And I love Clemson. I love Eric Bakich more than many. I just don't think it's been their year. I think, there's a couple of holes in that roster that I don't necessarily love. I like West Virginia's pitching staff. I think it's very strong. A good rotation of Griffin Kern, who went complete game in the Big 12 tournament, Jack Carsonas, who's got a sub-3 ERA in that weekend rotation. And then the lineup's pretty strong too. Kyle West literally has West in his last name playing for West Virginia. How do you not love that? Give me the Mountaineers. Let's go.
All right, cool.
I'm going to be honest, guys. That shocked me that Noah is taking West Virginia. Now I'm concerned why. I'm like thinking, what am I not seeing here? This West Virginia team.
Are you saying that because I like Clemson so much and that's why you're shocked? Or
no, I'm saying I'm shocked that you have faith in West Virginia to win this regional.
I think I've been bullish on West Virginia on a couple of shows, but yeah.
Yeah, they've struggled against elite competition this year, but anyway, yeah, that's why I'm surprised.
All right, 3 seed that we feel most strongly could win a regional. You guys are going to hate me, Jack and Dimitri, but my pick is the Arizona State Sun Devils. I think this team, now that they're in the tournament, and there's always a last 4 team in that makes a super regional run, you get Ben Jacobs going against that Anteaters offense game 1. They can win that. Game 2, I think it's going to turn into who's going to have the better offense, and don't sleep on Fresno State. I think they could beat UCLA, but I think this team is built for a regional format where they're going to use the same 4 or 5 pitchers over and over and over. Not a deep bullpen, but a strong top end guys. And then the offense, you look up and down their lineup, so offensive. They can hang with anybody in the country. Give me Arizona State coming out of UCLA.
I'm going quick, and I don't have a lot of reason and logic. I just want it to happen really, really, really bad. Big Red Nation, I'll see you at Charles Schwab Field again. Let's get weird. Dimitri, you're up.
Whew.
Nebraska.
I want it. No reason, no logic. They could play the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Astros in a regional. I'd pick them just because I want to see Charles Schwab Field decked out with Big Red Nation again. Dude, that was so cool seeing them sell that thing out.
Weren't you just 10 minutes ago hyping up Kyson Witherspoon to no end?
One question for Jack, too.
Yeah.
Didn't he already use the Chapel Hill Regional? Wasn't this your 1 seed to lose?
Why can't I use them? Yeah. Why? Yeah. What if I like? Yeah.
Oh, we're
if
allowed
I-
to reuse them.
Yeah, you can reuse stuff.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
especially if I think here's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on OU going. Nebraska's not good at baseball. We're gonna hold Witherspoon, and we're gonna throw him against North Carolina.
There is no
they
shot
are big
at
8
all.
rivals. They're
Nice.
throwing.
I
dice.
said it. That's why I try to keep it simple. I just want it. There's no reason.
All right,
No
you want it?
logic.
That's fine. We love
Guys
it.
and Witherspoon. Guys, how about this? Here's my hot take after this weekend. Guys and Witherspoon is the number 1 pitcher in baseball.
Yes.
That was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. He is the number 1 pitcher in baseball. So, yeah, I just want it. I just want it really bad. Big Ten championship looks super cool.
So you like Witherspoon more than like Anthony Ianson or some of those other talented righties?
Yes.
Guys and Witherspoon, number 1 pitcher in the country.
I'm with Jack.
I love it. I like it. Go GBR. Guys, I'm going into the well again. When there is no regional in Stillwater, Oklahoma, this team can be good again. But when this team plays in Stillwater, Oklahoma, they're one of the worst teams in the country. But when they are out of Stillwater, I like them. Give me the Oklahoma State Cowboys to win that Athens Regional. I think they are one of the best 3 seeds in the field. They easily can be a 2 seed, and they easily could have been a host if they would have just stayed healthy and had things go their way earlier in the season. I'm telling you, this team is really good.
My 3 seed to advance out of a regional. Beautiful draw for Cincinnati, the Bearcats. Beautiful draw. This is a team, Coach Bishel, Jordan Bishel, creates his offense around chaos and great base running. Tennessee can't hold a runner for their lives. They give up stolen bases left and right. The defense has been poor over the last 3 weeks. Wake Forest defense is not very good. And they don't throw. Both Tennessee and Wake Forest struggle to throw strikes. Cincinnati's pitching staff is not going to overwhelm anybody, but they throw strikes. Give me Cincinnati to come out of the Knoxville Regional. I love this draw for the Bearcats. Let's go.
That is really where my head went with Tennessee. I knew that they can't hold runners on. People steal bases at will with them. And when I saw Cincinnati get put there, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
that could be trouble.
And Nathan Taylor, really good arm. I think he's better than anybody that like Wake has great depth, but I don't know if they have like the number 1 guy this year, like they've had with Chase Burns and Ladauer in years past. And then Carrington Cross, Big 12 Player of the Year. Cincinnati's got dudes too.
Yeah, but here's the problem with all that. They might not play Tennessee the whole weekend.
So Miami, Ohio wins that first matchup, and they play Cincinnati in the winners bracket. I see where you're coming from, Jack.
Yeah,
let's go.
God, Jack is such a homer, man. It hurts me.
You're right. Noah taking Cincinnati, who he saw play all year long. You're right. That wasn't a homer. You know what? Before I keep going, Ben, back to you. I'm going to freak out. Right. You Stetson bastards. We took 10 minutes talking about the A-Sun. No bias there.
All righty. So we have 4 seed, right?
Yeah.
My order is messed up. 4 seed, most likely to advance out of a regional. We've only seen it once since like 2015 or 16, and that was Oral Roberts in 2023. I think the safest pick to like win a regional comes down to 2 teams. I'm going to take Murray State. I think in order for a 4 seed to win a regional, there has to be chaos. And if they can win game 1 against Hunter Elliott, which is highly unlikely, but if they do, then you get those bottom teams like literally fighting. Georgia Tech, Western Kentucky, Ole Miss, like all really solid teams. You got to start seeing them throw their best guys game 2, game 3, getting back. So if I had to pick a 4 seed, I'm gonna take Murray State, who reminds me a little bit of the 2018 Tennessee Tech team that came out of an Oxford regional.
Ben, what did you say? There's only been 1 4 seed to advance. Is that what you said?
Or no, 4 seed. I meant to get to Omaha. Frick, I messed up.
Okay. Because I was about to say, I was like, wait, what was Davison? What was all these teams?
Yep, you're right.
There was a bunch of them. Evansville.
1 4 seed to get to Omaha.
Evansville last year.
Well, yeah, Murray State also plays in the Missouri Valley,
Same conference.
which has had two super regional teams, a super regional team the last 2 years with Indiana State and Evansville.
Yep. Like it.
Love it. Kind of in between because we've got the 4 seed upset on Friday night versus the 4 seed to advance. So those are like
We just combined them into one.
Oh, really? Oh, then
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, just
I
take a
say
4 seed to win.
Yeah, neck. If it's not going to be Long Island, then it's going to be Central Connecticut State. Watch out, Auburn. Done.
I love it. Guys, I think that I don't know why. I was just surprised nobody else had picked. Maybe Noah will pick them. Actually, no, he won't because he loves another team in this regional.
I'm not going with
the
the
USC Upstate Spartans are comfortable playing in Clemson, South Carolina. They played there. They won there. I think there's a very weak West Virginia team, and I think it's a very confusing, possibly weak Kentucky team, a 13-win SEC team. I think if Upstate beats Clemson on Friday night, which I think they can very well do, this regional becomes chaotic because West Virginia or Kentucky is also very talented to beat Clemson in the 0-1 game on Saturday afternoon. And they're going to use up all their pitching. I really like Upstate as my favorite 4 seed to win a regional.
My favorite 4 seed to win a regional. Ben was talking about his recipe for a 4 seed to win. Chaos needs to happen. But also, I think that you need to face a 1 seed who doesn't have an ace, like a true guy that's going to go out there and absolutely shove. Give me Fresno State. They go up against UCLA, who Cody Delvecchio was their game 1 starter for the first half of the year. He goes down with a season-ending injury, and they haven't really been able to replace him. Landon Stump's been good. Michael Barnett's been a really good Saturday guy, Stump on Sunday, but that Friday has been a little bit of a hole. So Ian May has been a bullpen. I don't think they're going to do that to be Barnett, but learn the name, know the name, love the name. 107 strikeouts to 12 walks. Guy can pitch. He just can. Last year he was better than his stats were better last year than they are this year, but the strikeout to walk ratio is 20-25, baby. And then Murph Gray. Give me the dude. And Fresno State, I think they're a quality enough team to, if there's chaos and they're in the driver's seat, they can kind of conduct that way to where either UCLA or one of those quality 2 or 3 seeds are already out. That's chaos, baby. That's Evansville and East Carolina last year, where Wake Forest and East Carolina are playing an elimination game in game number 2.
Yeah. Fresno State was the other 4 seed I looked at heavily. I thought they match up well against UCLA, and chaos could happen in that regional. But I went with Murray State just because I would rather see that.
Hey, you know what's funny? We've all been dogging UCLA, and we love it. At least one of us has loved every team in that regional except UCLA, but nobody had UCLA at the 1 seed out.
That's true.
Yeah. Nobody had UCLA at the 1 seed out, but we love every other team in this regional.
That is funny. Wow. Good planning by us. All right. You guys want to move to best uniform?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Best uniform regional. I will kick things off. I went with the Arkansas regional. I love the Razorbacks logo. I really love their gray jerseys, but the pinstripes are great, and so are the reds. With the little tail underneath, it says Razorbacks, Arkansas. I think it's just such a clean look. And then Kansas Creighton, I mean, they just pop. Like those two uniforms pop off the screen. The baby blue Creighton, red, white, and blue Kansas, and then low key, North Dakota State, their gray pinstripes, which I think they're going to be wearing. Well, both of their gray jerseys they have are awesome. It's very like Oakland A's gray-esque. And I think that North Dakota State wears white cleats with them, which is a good look. So I like the Fayetteville regional for best uniform matchup.
I like Coastal a lot. Conway, man. Ben, you and I talked about it in Jacksonville. Coastal's like pennies, so fresh. Florida's creams, disgustingly beautiful, and then ECUs are just kind of iconic to me. I have not familiarized myself with Fairfield enough, so forgive me, boys. But man, just those three alone are something special. And I like how all four different teams, different color palettes. So this is the most insightful analytics, I guess, driven conversation I've had so far in this podcast. So feed me Conway. It's going to be the prettiest costume matchups of all.
I'm going right back into the well for this uniform one. Give me Los Angeles. UCLA got the iconic uniform. Fresno State's got some sick pin with the bold, thick stripe down their pant. I love the uniform. UC Irvine, they've got the classic with the stirrups. They've got the old school look, and they've got some beautiful pinstripes as well. And then you've got Arizona State. They're just gorgeous. So I think this regional is by far and away my favorite uniform regional.
I went with the Hattiesburg regional. I think it's got the most diverse color palette. I went to school in the city of Pittsburgh, so I'm always a sucker for black and gold. I like the baby blues that Columbia is going to rock a couple of times. Alabama's got a crisp red, and then you get the classic, the green and orange and white of Miami with the old English M. Oh, I like the Hattiesburg regional a lot.
Oof.
I think those were all four really solid picks.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, we're going to go the most watched regional nationally.
I have a good answer here.
This one was tough. It comes down to, like, we need at least two national brands with big college baseball followings.
Yep.
And we got to hit different parts of the country. I'm going to Tallahassee. I think Florida State is always that, like, noon game, the first game of the regionals, and they usually play the day game, which is nice. Start things off like first game of regional play. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I'm going to assume that's going to be the same thing. And then you get a night game with a Northeastern school, like, no pun intended, but like Boston, Massachusetts, baseball country up there. They're going to all cling on to this red hot Northeastern team. They're going to turn the game on and watch. And then, of course, we know the giant fan base that Mississippi State has and the national powerhouse that they are. So I believe that will be the most watched regional. No other explanation other than that, though.
I've gone back and forth on this one a couple different ways because you're right. Like, I feel like if like LSU like took a crap and put a dress on it, like everyone would watch. But the problem is, I think everyone's going to be there. So between them, I'm going to go with the one that I'm most excited to watch. I'm going to say Hattiesburg. I think everyone's going to fall in love with that incredible environment and at the Pete. And I think that Southern Miss and Alabama matchup Saturday night is the most exciting matchup, I think, of the weekend. Kind of like forecasting what could potentially happen. So I'm going to go there. Obviously mixing a big brand in Miami too. Like, let's get Dimitri and that Miami fan base back involved. Let's get Hayden Schott and Columbia riled up a little bit. Let's get Ivy League bound. Yeah, I think Hattiesburg.
So Ben nailed it. Where you got to find a school that might not be able to travel there, and they're going to need to watch the game. And there is no bigger fan base than the Nebraska Cornhusker. This fan base is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if you watch a single pitch of the Big Ten tournament, you saw they filled that place up. They filled the whole lower bowl and the upper deck at Charles Schwab. Oklahoma's got a big-time fan base. Maybe they don't show up to the ballpark, but I know they follow the baseball team and they watch them on TV. And so but my original pick was Arkansas because I think Kansas got a large fan base, and I think Creighton has also a large fan base, and a lot of them are Nebraska-Creighton hybrids.
Don't say that.
Yeah, they don't like that.
I know they hate each other, but let's be honest, they're secretly like same thing with Texas fans.
I don't know. I think our weekend series pick'em winner is like he would not like that. I know he's listening too right now. Get your boy. Go get your boy.
That's just how I feel. Same thing with Texas and UTSA and Texas State. Like I feel like they're hybrid fans secretly, but give me North Carolina solely because I don't know if Nebraska is going to be able to all travel there. North Carolina, the national brand too. They all are out of Chapel Hill now, working all over the country. They're all going to be watching. Oklahoma's got a big fan base. So I think that's my pick?
My pick for most watched regional nationally is going to be the Athens regional. I think you got two big baseball brands in Georgia and Oklahoma State, three power conference teams because you add in Duke there, and then Binghamton as a Northeast representative. I went with the Georgia regional.
Oh, I forgot to make my most biggest point. The whole entire Vatican is going to be watching Holy Cross. So that's another million people watching. We have a new American Pope. We have Holy Cross. They took out our military men. That's another million viewers right there just for Holy Cross.
Oh, that's funny. All right, let's move to the most offensive regional. All right, so let me clarify something first. And actually, not clarify. Let me ask the question first. When we say most offensive, do we mean most runs scored or like on paper the best offensive teams?
Most runs scored, most offensive, most fire.
Which regional do I think is going to have the highest scoring games? Right.
Up to your definition. I mean, the same thing that we did with the best uniforms. Like there are multiple definitions of that, right?
Yeah. All right. I'll do who I think will have the highest scoring games, and it has nothing to do with like ball. I don't think other than maybe Tennessee, like most of these ballparks probably play bigger than the average ballpark. But my pick here is I think that UCLA regional, Los Angeles, is going to have some high scoring games because a lot of these pitching staffs aren't deep. They have like one, maybe two notable guys, and the rest are like average to below average, but they can all hit. You get guys like Rock Chalowski who might win the Golden Spikes at UCLA. Brandon Compton from Arizona State who might win the Golden Spikes next year. Murph Gray at Fresno State. Like you get big time power, and we know about the Irvine offense too. So I know Los Angeles, like UCLA doesn't usually have high scoring games, but I think the deeper that this tournament or this bracket goes, you're going to start seeing double digits from both teams.
Yeah, Athens feels like a chalk answer with like a little feed the trees action, but I'm going to go even chalkier, and I'm going to head it to Knoxville. I think there's a ton of star power. Noah already brought up Carrington Cross with Cincinnati. Wake Forest has got some dudes, whether it be Merrick Houston or Caden Lewis. Like they got guys, and then obviously the Tennessee offense that we start to see come to life in Hoover and then lay a little bit of an egg against Vanderbilt. I think that's a fluke matchup. I think Tony V's going to have the boys ready to go. There's your chalk answer, Dimitri. But I do think there's going to be just a shit ton of runs because you forget Rylan Zembrowski played for Miami of Ohio last year. Like that's an offense that can really go. I could see you could see some football scores for sure in that regional.
I like chalk when it comes to making this pick. Give me Athens. One of the best offense in the country in Georgia. I don't know shit about Binghamton, so I'm just going to hope they're offensive. Duke's got offense. Duke's got lots of offense. And then Oklahoma State's got lots of offense. And pitching is going to be optional in this regional. So give me the Athens regional being fireworks.
The only thing that keeps me off of Georgia is that like Duke doesn't have dudes that are going to go out there and shove for 7 or 8 innings, but up and down that staff, they are able to deploy guys that are able to go out there and get outs. I think Duke's going to be able to manage to keep some games low scoring. Oklahoma State's got a really good weekend rotation, and actually their offense wasn't that great this year. They were 13th out of 14 teams in the Big 12 when it came to batting average. So I guess I didn't think that was regional.
Stop the show. No, you're not. You can't say that stuff. Stop the show. Delete, cut that out, please.
So I guess I didn't think that regional was as chalky. I went with Nashville because also I wanted to choose different regionals for all of mine. Wright State, I always think of them as they just hit bombs. Some years they have an ace or two. This year I don't really see that. But they're going to be high scoring, and Louisville also, their pitching was decimated by injuries this year, and they can put up 10 runs in any type of game. East Tennessee State's got a top 10 offense, and Vanderbilt's kind of found their offensive groove here over the last three-ish weeks. They can pitch. They can definitely keep some of these games low scoring. East Tennessee State's got a good weekend rotation, but the two teams that I really circle here that are going to provide a lot of offense are Louisville and Wright State.
Noah, you could have just said they have the 13th best offense in the Big 12. You could have just said that, and I would have been happy. Instead, you called me out. Oklahoma State is going to prove you wrong.
I hope they do. I want Nolan Schubert in Omaha when I'm there. He's a Michigan guy.
Oh.
All right. Let's move to the best pitching regional. This one, I had a tough decision between two teams, or it's not two teams. Sorry, two different regionals. Sorry, there we go. Tough decision. I'm going to end up going to Corvallis. I think that I don't know how much of a pitching juggernaut St. Mary's is. They're just going to be out of this conversation right now. I haven't done research on them yet, but Oregon State 1-2 punch there, TCU 1-2 punch there, USC 1-2 punch there, with all like established starters. I think that that's going to be a very pitching friendly bracket, low scoring game. So give me Corvallis.
I'm going to Coastal here. I think that Conway has debuted this new look, weekend rotation and bullpen, and this has been one of the better Coastal Carolina pitching staffs in recent memory. So pair that with our boy Ethan Norby at ECU, and then Florida obviously has found. You get a couple guys back obviously from injury, but Florida has tapped into, I guess, Sully baseball. When the weather warms, so does this ball club, and they've been so good. So I will I go, maybe it's a race to 5. I think Florida's going to try to muddy the waters and you play big long games. But man, between Fluky, Morrison, Coastal Carolina is a lot of fun on the bump. So I'll take the Conway Regional for the best arms.
I'm surprised nobody picked this one yet either. Give me Chapel Hill for the best pitching regional. I think North Carolina's got an electric 3-man rotation. They've got a stud closer. They've got a stud bridge guy in the bullpen. Nebraska, no star power like Noah mentioned earlier, but they've got some big-time performances recently. And when teams get hot, they pitch so well. Oklahoma did it a couple years ago. Teams, when they get hot pitching, they usually stay hot. And then Oklahoma, probably one of the best rotations in the country. So that regional screamed pitching to me.
Yeah, Dimitri hated me on the last one. He's going to like me now because I'm going to retweet the Chapel Hill Regional as my best pitching regional. North Carolina is very deep. I think they're the deepest pitching staff in the country. Kyson Witherspoon is the best right-handed arm in the country. And then Nebraska has – their strength coming into the year was their pitching depth. They did lose their ace, Mason McConaughey, for the season, but Ty Horn in that Big Ten championship goes 8 shutout. And they have plenty of arms. It's just, I don't know if they have the number one guy that's going to go out there. And don't sleep on Holy Cross. They've got 2 guys with names that you can't pronounce, or at least I'm not going to attempt to look like a clown here. But one of them just absolutely shoved against Army, shutout in the Patriot League final. And Holy Cross has a nice duo of starting pitchers over there. So, Chapel Hill.
Wait, hold on. Let's try, Noah. I broadcasted their games earlier this year. Do you know who? I'm gonna go look.
So
who was
Danny and Jaden.
Danny and Jaden. Okay. Let's go. Okay. All right. Danny and Jaden. We got to give out some Crusader love before we go. Isn't that what everyone locked in for? Oh, Jaden Waiwoda. Just say it how it spells. Waiwoda.
I thought it could have been like Vahiva, where it's Wahiwa, but it's Vahiva. Yeah. Vivoda.
Macchiarola. Yeah. Cool.
All right, guys.
Wait, before
is there a single regional that we did not mention?
I think we missed the Texas regional, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did not say a word about Austin.
Everything's bigger in Texas regional. There's 3 Texas teams.
So let's try to, as a group here, let's try to come up with what we would be excited about in this Texas regional. Obviously, we have mid-major coach of the year, Pat Hallmark at UTSA. That's a big storyline. Schlossnagel, obviously, first regional.
Power coach of the year for 11.7 too.
Yeah, Power 4 coach of the year. And then biggest turnaround of the year might go to Clay Vanderlaan, of Houston Christian. Yeah. They were last place in the Southland last year. They have a much better regular season. They get hot in the tournament, win the tournament. So HCU frisky group of JUCO guys there.
Don't keep in mind about Houston Christian series. No, they lose all they have a series win over UTRGV. So I thought that for some reason I thought they beat Southeastern, but never mind. In Kansas State, they were the regional darlings a year ago in Fayetteville. So this region will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. D. Kennedy, too, for Kansas State, returns back to Austin, where he once played. I think what stands out to me, like, if the Longhorns can keep taking care of business, like, they're going to be so tough to beat over 3 games. Like, Max Wiener's going to have whoever the hell comes out of the pen ready to rumble. If you were to forecast, though, as, like, a mid-major pod, like, how much fun would a UTSA and UC Irvine Super be? Like, that was what I was looking at. I was like, well, what if? I mean, UTSA could be the Longhorns ahead. Like, we guarantee a mid-major to Omaha.
Guarantee a mid-major
two of our
spot,
favorite teams. That would be sick.
Right. Hey, speaking of that, we mentioned it when Jared Spencer went down to Texas, lost their number 1 guy. It takes another guy from the back end of that rotation and a guy out of their bullpen to eat up innings in the starting rotation. If there was a time for a team as good as Texas to lose in a regional, it would be this year, because Texas was so good for so long that they were pretty much locked up at the national seed before Jared Spencer got hurt. And then Ruger Rioja did well for 2 or 3 starts. And then now he's kind of scouting report, whatever you want to call it. They figured him out a little bit. I think this Texas team is a susceptible team to lose.
Yeah, and I'll point it out too, since it's low-hanging fruit and we haven't mentioned it yet. Ruger Riojas in that Texas rotation is a UTSA transfer. And that team is pretty loaded on the pitching staff side. Their rotation is very solid, and their closer, Robert Orlowski's got 8 saves on the year. He's pretty shut down. So San Antonio is going to be a good threat, I think, to the Austin Regional that a lot of people are going to be overlooking.
So is Kansas State. Don't sleep on them.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of lefties in that rotation, too. There's a lot of lefties in the country. But yeah, Kansas State's one of a few teams that actually have 3 left-handed starting pitchers. Florida State, another one.
I would say Kansas State play a top 4, 3 seed in this field.
All right. Well, let's end that here right at an hour. We appreciate everybody for listening, and we're gonna be back either tomorrow or Wednesday to do our full make picks, fill out brackets, all of that fun stuff. So. We're here. It's postseason baseball. Let's get after it. Let's root for our mid-majors. Let's get a few of them to Omaha, and let's have a good time. So appreciate everybody for listening. We'll be back.
Make sure you dislike the video, unsubscribe, and
Thank you.
Yep.